What's going on, people? It's your man, the White Bee. Once again, big shout out to my doggy, Martin Skirsis, for coming through and boosting up the coin. So, Khamzat Chimaev. Oh man, I'm not sure what you call it. In boxing terms, you call it a stinkinator. And I'll listen, full disclosure here. I was backing Khamzat. I put a tenner down and a 150 profit off Khamzat winning on points and the fight in general to go the distance. The reason I did that was I kind of expected, Khamzat at one point, and this is the first UFC fight I've watched in, I can't remember the last one I've watched, to be fair. It's been years. Maybe I've watched, I can't even say I watched that actually. Watching the full fight, it's very rare for me to watch a full UFC fight. I've tuned into Khamzat. I like his whole edge, smash, yaka smash type. I like that edge he's got. And they build a good narrative, they build a good story in the UFC. Yeah, he's come from Chechnya and he's wrestling bears type-ish. Yeah. In the build-up, he's saying, in his broken English, "One more day, brother, one more day. You have one more, I take it off." And that's got my nipples tingling. I'm sent along at that point. But the reason I bet on points before the fight is, he's changed. That Gilbert Burns fight changed him. He got dropped a few times in there. At least once, officially. But about 2 or 3 times, he kind of ends up a bit skew-whiff. And Gilbert Burns, was that a 170-pound fight? I think it was. But in that fight, up until that point, Khamzat would mix it up well. I liked his striking, and he'd mix it in with the wrestling. And he made for good fights. But after that Gilbert Burns fight, after he'd been put down a few times, he goes into the Snoozman fight. Snoozman's on like 4 weeks' notice, something like that. And he goes life and death with Snoozman. Life and death with Snoozman. And that change from Burns to Snoozman. Although I think, though, to be fair, he did beat, I'm not a historian in the UFC, but he ended up beating that other dude, didn't he? Was that on points though or not? Let me have a quick look. He beat that New Zealand dude. I've got his name now. Khamzat Chimaev record. Completely forgot his name. Whitaker. That's it. He beat Whitaker. How did he beat Whitaker? Maybe my timeline's off, but I'm telling you now, yeah. That Burns fight. He ain't been mixing it up since. That's what he ain't been doing. He has not been mixing up the striking like he did when he was coming up. He's become much more lay and pray. And I don't know what the referee was doing. I felt, listen, I don't mind DDP. I wanted Khamzat to win, yeah. But I find DDP alright. Now, he has to answer himself. We can't blame completely Chimaev for the wet blanket performance. I stole that bar from that dude with the big beard, that big UK dude. I've got his name now. I stole that bar, man. But let's have a look at the record right quick. Robert Whitaker. Was that on points? No, he stopped him. Okay, he stopped Whitaker. Maybe we can't be so mad. And he stopped the guy after Burns. I don't know. I watched Burns and I watched Usman Snoozman back. Those are the 2 fights I watched, and I wasn't really impressed with them. Du Plessis, he got to work on his takedown defence. Khamzat couldn't miss, and the argument is, well, if you can't miss, if something's working every time, why would you not do it? I felt like, come on, bro, man. All that talking you was doing about taking his head off. At least with Khabib, people would complain about Khabib. It wasn't my favourite style, but that's why I like boxing. But Khabib, I think he got 95% or something, stoppage ratio. He'd do some BJJ on the ground and twist your neck up. Khamzat, the referee should have stood them up. I don't know what they was doing down there. Khamzat, these stats came out, and all the kind of Khamzat homosexuals were saying, "Oh, he landed 600 strikes." Are you joking? Khamzat landed about 10 strikes. That on the floor, and you're kind of tapping him on the head. They should have been stood up quick. I think if you're not getting something going, I think there almost should be an immediate timer. Once you take someone down, you should have 30 seconds to make something happen. If you're not, you get back up again. Because it was painful to watch, honestly. Painful. And it was like, for me, it was like Khamzat had He was nervous about the striking. He just didn't want to strike at all. I think maybe one or two times, Du Plessis stuffed his takedown. Khamzat's like on the floor just trying to catch his legs. It was a bad look, man. It was a bad look. So I like Khamzat striking. I think he's kind of here. He's striking that's good. What's the point training for striking if you're not going to mix it in? Listen, man. You're up 4 rounds. I mean, once you're up 3 rounds, it's not like DDP is some master on the feet. I think Khamzat's a better striker than I don't like DDP striking. He's just like a stocky, stiff. Do you know what I mean? I'm not really too impressed with DDP striking. So once you're 3 rounds up, what are you scared of? The argument is Khamzat was scared of getting clipped. Yeah, that's the only answer. Look at even Khabib put McGregor down. Khabib dipped and wung his right hand over and boshed McSniff. Yeah? And that's McSniff, someone who, at least historically, you may understand why Khabib doesn't want to strike with him. Khabib was happy to put one on him. Khamzat literally, he had nothing to offer but clinging on to. And this is what turns me off of the UFC, to be fair. I don't know what people become fangirls of athletes. Oh, it was the best thing ever. I think Joe Rogan on the commentary, the referee goes to pick them up. And Joe Rogan's like, whoa, this was so good. Why is he picking him up for? This is just too good to watch. What the fuck? It sucked. And I'm a casual, I can tell you that. You can argue, well, if he was hardcore, you knew what he was watching. It was sucked, man. What are you talking about? He wasn't doing nothing on there. Really bad to watch. Really bad. And yeah, listen, DDP. There's been, I think, Burns, I don't know, what was he doing? I think Burns apparently has a good guard or something like that. This cat, DDP, look, I can never wrestle before. Because with Usman and Burns, his wrestling, Khamzat's wrestling wasn't all that. It wasn't like blow your head off good. This one here, it looked like DDP's never wrestled before in his life. And in the, what they call it, in the UFC embeddeds, DDP's coach is like, yeah, we're going to beat him. We're going to beat him. We're going to beat him in his own game. Well, how about you just defend the takedown, man? Just start there. No takedown defense. And the commentators were saying, every time Khamzat would shoot in, DDP was never pushing the head down, ever. And I'm not a wrestling coach, but it made sense to me. Khamzat was having his way. It seemed somewhat basic things. When someone comes shooting in, you want to push their head down so they don't get as much grip. DDP just like, Urgh. There was another occasion, they're on the mat. What were they doing? I think Khamzat was doing something on the ground and DDP's got his hips close to him and they're saying, push your knees back, man, stay out of the way. Basic things. What should appear basic when you're fighting someone who wants to lay on you. I need to stay away from this guy in that respect. And it can be done. I'm not a historian, but I've seen dudes with good scramble. DDP had no scramble game. No scramble game at all, whatsoever. So both of these two dudes, DDP, you know what, I hold Chimaev responsible. Because it got silly, man. 4 rounds in. I thought round 5 maybe he's going to come out. The crowd should have been booing more. There was a little bit of booze in there. There should have been more booze. But in round 5, man, come on, you got to show us something. You can't be that chinny. Who's DDP knocked out, man? Who's DDP knocked out? He can't punch like that. So I don't believe that. He can't punch. He's not someone you'd look at and say, whoa, you do not want to be striking with him. DDP was knackered after being laid on for 4 rounds. Khamzat should have really shown us a little taste of something, I felt. Instead, he looked desperate for the takedown, which isn't a good sign, in my opinion. Being desperate for it. And in that 5 rounds, people, listen, oh, snoozeman. This was as bad as snoozeman, if not worse, to be fair. Because snoozeman is a wrestler. I don't think he's all that on his feet, but he's supposed to be smash, brother. Smash, I smash. Where was the smash? There was no smash. It looked low T, man. Honestly, it looked low T. I'm just trying to look now. A lot of cancelled bouts. Apparently he got COVID and then he kept getting sick or something like that. But he used to be... Oh no, he's got quite a few stinkers in here, to be fair. Right cross, ground and pound. No, when he was fighting bums, he was alright. Maybe it's a step up in class. I think it was this one here. This was Gilbert Burns. This was the first fight where he got a taste. And after that, Kevin Holland, never heard of him. So, I've never heard of Kevin Holland, man, to be fair. It was Snoozman, man, Snoozman. Let's see if we can find the fight stats here. I'm intrigued. Did he take Snoozman down? I watched it the other day, but I don't remember. No, they don't even show you what was going on in the fight stats. That's dead. Oh, wait a minute. It might be on here, actually. Khamzat. No, I don't show you no stats here. Either way, man, I'd hope that... I'm not sure how long Khamzat's going to be knocking around for. Apparently he likes to dip in and dip out of the sport. And he's loaded now. He's been loaded. Apparently that Chechen dude, Ramzan Kadyrov, put him on. I think becoming champion was the main thing for him. I didn't see ambition, that's what I'm saying. I didn't see given how much he was talking, I didn't see an ambition to proper smash. I've seen him in sparring. He was sparring some fat dude. He was sparring, yeah. Khamzat was sparring some dude. He had a little beanie on. And the guy looked like MMA Guru. Yeah, in fact, the big bulbous dude hits him a few times. And Khamzat throws his hat off and then starts going extra. Because he's bent out of shape because he's got caught. So there are some bully vibes there. So that builds into my narrative that you can't be doing that. Getting all worked up because MMA gurus popped you a few times in your mouth. And then you're in there with DDP in a world championship fight and you don't want to put hands on him. After you said you're taking his head off. I didn't see you taking your head off. No, it stunk the place out, honestly. That's just the bottom line. I want to check these stats though. I don't even have to read these stats, man. This is some next thing. Takedown. Yeah, Khamzat only got 4 of 12 versus Snoozman. Is that right? Takedown. Yeah, he got 4 of 12. So Snoozman is a better wrestler. Guess that was in a 3-round fight though. This was a 5-rounder. But you just had to, I think he spent 22 minutes. It was the second highest in UFC history. 22 and a half minutes on the mat. The referee need to do more, man. The referee need to stand in there and make it. At the end of the day, UFC is supposed to care about entertainment, and Dana often changes the rules to make it more entertaining. No, the wrestling thing, man. They got to do better with that. Yeah, we'll see with Gilbert Burns. Khamzat only scored 2 takedowns, and he only tried 3 times. That's crazy. This is what I'm saying. In that Burns fight, his first big fight as such, he's in there letting his hands go, but he got caught a few times, and he turned him off. He turned into a lay in prayer now. He only had 2.5 minutes, half a round of control in that Burns fight. But these men have got to do. It's hard though. Wrestling's like the rock paper. Wrestling is like the nuclear weapon in rock paper scissors. Habib, what's his name, Makachev as well. The referee got to step in. End of the day, if these things ain't getting going, I mean, 30 seconds into a takedown, there should be no control really. It should be I'm taking you down and I'm trying to do something. Smash, ground and pound, or I'm looking for a submission. If you ain't got it done in 30 seconds, we're getting back up and you can go again. Because you can just... Listen, even if Khamzat had been stood up, it would have given Du Plessis more of a chance, but he probably would have just took him down again. Because it would have been like 50 takedowns. It wouldn't have made much difference because Du Plessis had no answers at all. But it was just sad to see someone with so much hype desperate to hang on to someone's leg. It's like he hadn't ever trained striking in his life. That's how it looked to me. It was panic. McTapper talked about this. There was an element, even though Khamzat was in control, I like him, that's why I put money on him. But even though he was in control, there was an element of panic wrestling there. I've got to be honest. There was an element of panic wrestling. Just desperate to shoot in. I thought there'd be like a tiny bit of stand-up, like maybe 1 kick each. And then the next shot that Khamzat threw was a feint to get the takedown. I thought, what are you doing, man? Just be comfortable and relaxed. Obviously, if I was fighting for a belt and I could take someone down and just play with them on the mat, what would I do? Well, it's one of them, innit? But you was talking like you could listen. Khamzat could have said before the fight, "Hey man, I'm coming to lay and pray. I'm gonna stink the place out for 5 rounds." And then, I'm taking your head off. One day, brother. I take head off. You talk too much, man. You stunk the place out, honestly. You turned me off. I'm not a fan of... I'll watch you versus... Because what's his name? That hillbilly came out. The redneck. What's his name? What's the redneck's name? The one who just fought Du Plessis a little while ago. Sean Strickland. He came out and said that, yeah... Du Plessis ain't no good on the mat, but when I wrestle the Chechens, I've wrestled Khamzat and I actually take him down more. He can't handle my wrestling. That's what Sean Strickland said. The hillbilly, the redneck man. I swear down, the redneck said that. He said he played with him on the mat. That's what Strickland said. I swear down, there's a video of it. I should find it really, but it's funny. Is he up next? We need someone who can wrestle, basically. Because it'll be the wrestling or the guard or whatever they call it that will turn off Chimaev from wanting to. You can't see any more of that. That's bad. That's a bad look. Adesanya in his prime had good takedown defense, but he got subbed by Du Plessis. Fucking hell, he's finished. See if you get subbed by Du Plessis is useless on the mat, man. He's useless on there, man. He's no good. But we know Adesanya's a striker, but normally his legs are quite quick and gangly, so we can avoid it. But let me check this fight here right quick as well, actually. Let's see what the wrestling... I remember I think I might have watched a bit of this on the highlight. This stunk as well. This was mainly on the feet, but it just stunk. Strickland versus Du Plessis. There's a bunch of nothing going on. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why is Strickland talking about his wrestling for? This is nuts. Du Plessis, who can't wrestle for toffee, yeah, had a 54% takedown ratio. He landed 6 out of 11 takedowns against Strickland. Oh, you know. How is Strickland saying he beats Khamzat on the mat? What's he talking about? Yeah? What are you talking about? Du Plessis is useless. And he took you down 6 times. So that would be a lay in prayer as well. I don't know. I don't really follow UFC. I couldn't tell you who's in the rankings. Who's going to do something or not. But yeah. Is what it is. Let me know your thoughts, people. Smash the like button, subscribe, like the bell, 100%. There's no doubt about it. Some people stop it. Bosh.